Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. I hope you're doing well. It is time for a book review, and we are talking Galloway from Louis L'Amour. Stick around because after my book review, we will have a book review from Tessa on the channel. She has a book that she reviewed, and so you definitely don't want to miss that. So let's talk about the details of Galloway. It is book number 14 in the Sackett series, published in 1970 by Louis L'Amour. I really kind of enjoyed this more than I kind of scored it, and so stick around for more information about that. But let's talk about the summary of this. And so it's 1870s. We're in the San Juan County, and we are kind of thrown into the plight of Flagon Sackett. He was captured by Indians and Apache Indians, and they are slowly torturing him, and he escapes. You get to learn quite a bit about the Indians and their torture methods, and I thought that was really interesting. But he escapes. He's pretty much in his birthday suit, and so he is in rough shape, doesn't have any supplies, no outfit with him. His feet are all beat up, all to heck. It's very painful. But he knows his brother, Galloway Sackett, is more than likely going to leave a cache with one of the local townspeople that in case Flagon makes it back to town, he has something to kind of scrape together. Flagon, in making it to town, meets up with Old Man Rossiter and Meg Rossiter. And that was an interesting dynamic because Meg Rossiter is kind of smitten on a person named Curly Dunn. And the Dunn outfit Dunn clan is led by the old man Dunn, who they call the Bull. And they immediately don't like Flagon Sackett or his brother Galloway. And so Curly is hellbent on putting one or both of the Sacketts down, specifically Flagon. And so Flagon has to kind of come to terms with this. And, Galloway and Flagon are wanting to settle down and establish a ranch in this area. And they have to finally figure out how they're going to defend against the Dunn clan. And so all the while, Flagon is slowly kind of getting eyes and smitten towards Meg, even though she's rebuffing him time and time again. And the Dunn clan hires an assassin, a young sharpshooter by the name of Huddy, and he is brought on all to the purpose of taking down the Sacketts. And so that's kind of the summary of this. Let's talk about what I enjoyed. I enjoyed Flagon's plight in this. The Indians at the beginning, seeing kind of the torturer methods and how Flagon is really put to the test, I thought was really interesting. You get some flashbacks to that at the very beginning. I thought it was really well done. I really liked Galloway and Flagon and how Galloway meets up with a gentleman by the name of Nick Shadow, who takes it upon himself, knowing of the Sacketts, to help out Galloway and try to find Flagon. And I thought that was interesting. I enjoyed kind of the cattle drive piece of it and how it ties into Flagon and Galloway wanting to establish a ranch in that area. I liked how this Indian named Powderface comes into play and recognizes the Sacketts as warriors and wants to kind of take his tribe of children and sons and daughters and doesn't want them in this war between different Indian factions and wants to settle down in their ranch area and become ranch hands and help them. I thought that was really interesting. There's also a wolf that ends up following Flagon around, and it's very interesting. You get to find out why, and I thought that was a really interesting dynamic of a human and an animal and the reason why. I thought that was really interesting. I liked Curly Dunn as a character because you need that main antagonist against, the opposition against your main characters, and I thought that was really good. I really enjoyed the old man Dunn and some of the fighting that takes place. Logan and Parmalee Sackett come into this. Obviously, like most Sackett tales, you're going to have mention to other Sacketts. Obviously, you learn that Flagon and Galloway are cousins to Tyrell, Orrin, and Tell Sackett, which was very interesting. At one point, there was a mention to Edgar Allan Poe, growing up in Virginia, not far from the Tennessee Sacketts, when he's talking about where he came from. In terms of excerpts, there is one that I found that was really good. It said, "A man who starts imagining that others think good because he does is simply out of his mind. I've helped bury a few men who did think that way. Nice, peaceful men who wanted no trouble and made none. When feeding time comes around, there's nothing a hawk likes better than a nice, fat, peaceful dove." And that just goes to show you, like, you might want peace, but you have to have a little bit of a kind of side to you, because people will walk all over that, especially predators. And so I thought that was really interesting. In terms of criticism, I do have a couple. Meg was kind of annoying. She obviously, Flagon has feelings towards her, and there's different interactions, but Meg's always very dismissive, kind of childish, because she doesn't believe that Curly Dunn and the Dunn clan outfit are bad, and it's just naive for her to think that way. She can't really see people for who they are, and I thought it was nice at first because it gave a little bit of dimension to the characters, but then it was repeated multiple times. Like, yeah, I get it. The other one is, the book's titled Galloway, but it's about Flagon. Galloway is kind of just a side character. Obviously, his brother Flagon is the main character here, and that's where the plight comes from. Galloway's just a helper. It's all about Flagon Sackett in this story. In terms of rating and overall, I give it a 3.8. It's a good book. It's not great. I went back and looked at the 14 Sackett books I have read and reviewed. This is actually the second lowest review score I've given a Sackett book. And so I thought that was interesting. It does go to tell you that, a 3.8 is not a terrible score. And so you can see that most of these Sackett books I've really enjoyed. It's an enjoyable, quick read. I did like the different points of view, and I did enjoy Flagon Sackett as a character. And so that's my review of Galloway, book number 14 in the Sackett series. I give it a 3.8 out of 5. Now stick around, because Tessa has a review that is going to be next, so enjoy.
Hey guys, this is Tessa. So today I got a book called Reflection that I'm going to be reviewing today. It's What If Mulan Had to Travel to the Underground. So this is basically where Mulan, the princess who helped save China, basically save Shang from the underworld, and it's a really, really good book. I really like this one. And this was made by Elizabeth Lim. It's a Twisted Tales book. The cover's really nice. I've done Twisted Tale books a few times. I think I have. I've done Beauty and the Beast. Did I do another one? I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna say this book was really nice. The relationship with Mulan and Shang is adorable, and I really enjoyed this a lot. The art is amazing, and I really like the characters that are in the story. I really like the whole setting. The only thing I wasn't so sure about is that many of the Twisted Tale books talk about going to the underworld, and this is another one of them. And I kind of wish it would have done a different story that wasn't about the underground, because we already have so many of the Twisted Tale books that are about the underground. So basically, well, not the underground, did I say that? The underworld, that's what I meant. And so, yeah, that's kind of my review. I just hope you guys have a great day. Bye!